So it's wonderful that you have that. Are there any areas you feel like, not weaknesses, but areas that you could use support in that you're working on or trying to get better at?
Well, okay, so as far as I've been working here, I've never really like been committed to a classroom. I've just kind of always been everywhere, where Miss Kelly needs me. So like just kind of doing, like, my struggle has always been like trying to do calendar, like, circle time, and like that right there, like, I don't think I'm really strong at.
What is it about calendar or circle time that you think you struggle with?
I feel like the kids get like bored, maybe.
So that engagement?
Yeah, that engagement. Having to get them seated down for, circle time is probably only like 20-30 minutes, so it's not too much. But it's like, they get bored. I don't know, like you said, like the engagement kind of thing.
We actually just talked about that. I was talking about with the teacher next door. So there's not like a set time that we require for circle time. It could be a 5-minute circle time. It could be a 30-minute circle time. A lot of that depends on your kiddos and what their attention span is. But a lot of it can also depend on you and how you engage them. So are there any certain things that you do or that you've seen that work well with getting them engaged? Or
so also, like, during our teaching service, they were talking to us about, like, singing and moving around with the kids, and
is that something you're comfortable doing? Or
yes,
do you struggle with that?
Yeah, yes and no. Like I said, I've never been put in like a position where I take the lead, so it's like
a lot of people who haven't been in childcare forever or didn't grow up in it struggle with that. Sometimes we feel silly because we're adults and we don't do those things as adults, but it's not silly with them, and so it's overcoming that embarrassment sometimes.
It keeps them entertained, so it's good to see that.
I actually taught English to children in China for a little while. It was all online, but I felt like I was on Blue's Clues or something, like, because everything had to be so animated, and they were learning a new language, so it was all ESL kids, and they were at very different levels, but I felt so silly, and I'm an animated person, like, I'm naturally that way, but then just one kid watching, and sometimes they stare at you with that look, really just like glaring, and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So it was a big fear of overcoming that and learning how to keep their attention, because sometimes they just get up and wander off the screen. They wander away, and I'd be like, where did that kid go?
No, yes, literally. And
at least you're in the room with them.
Yeah. So it is like, that's one of my struggles, like kind of trying to get them to.
And with being a floater, it's a little harder because you're not always in the classroom with them. So learning their likes and dislikes and learning what works with them from room to room is going to be different. So I would say that the biggest thing you can do is talk to their teachers in their classroom, like when you come in. Try to find out what techniques because usually they have tried and they've got some tried and true. They've tried some things and they're like, that didn't work, and now we found something new. Like sometimes kids are super into songs, and sometimes
they're not.
They do not want to sing a song with you, and it could be day to day. One day they like songs, and the next day they're over it. So have an arsenal of things. Try to brainstorm some ways that you're comfortable with too, that are in your wheelhouse, in your comfort zone. Because if you're not comfortable, they sense that. Practicing in front of a mirror, as silly as it sounds, I've done it. It does help.
I might need to try that.
Like when you're home alone and you're like, okay, this is ridiculous, but then it's kind of like rehearsing, and then you come to the big performance and you're there. But have you tried things like puppets?
Not really.
That's something that a lot of times for me personally, with a puppet, it wasn't me, it was the puppet doing that. So like I could disconnect, and the kids really loved it. We have some Frog Street puppets that I know you guys have somewhere.
Yes, we do. We do.
We have some multicultural puppets too. I don't know if y'all have them specifically, but we can order those and try to help you get some of those. The kiddos love interacting with them. You can even let the kids use the puppets and have them do it with you, or finger puppets. Then it's about a calendar, if it's a different tune or a different, and let the kids pick, maybe letting them choose which song you sing for that, giving them that free choice might help.
I know the teachers, I know in each classroom they have like, well, I know at least on this side, on the twos, they have like a song board, and so the kids go and pick out like a song, you know, and I think that's
Kids
like a really good idea
love
too.
free choice in everything we do, even circle time. It doesn't matter what it is. They love to feel like they're in control. We all do. I
Yes.
mean, they're just
they
just little adults.
Yes.
They love to feel like they have their own way with things. So try incorporating that in your circle time or in calendar time or however you do it. If you see that it's an activity that takes a really long time, and maybe at this age they're just not ready for that amount of time, try to consider some ways maybe that you could shorten. How can we do that? So instead of going through the entire calendar the whole time, can I do just a portion of it? Can we work on certain days, or can we work on just the month, or and circle time in general? If you're doing it and they're getting bored with it, what things can you do alternate? Like we don't have to do the calendar every single day. Kids don't have to have that every day, as long as you bring it up throughout the day. So if I leave out calendar of circle time, I'm in circle time, we get to calendar, they're done, they're over it. Can we move on to the next activity and then try again later with calendar? Because maybe it's just an attention span thing with those kiddos, and you can even incorporate it into other activities. While they're at centers, go around to those centers and ask them questions about the calendar. They're playing, interacting, they're in the kitchen. We can be playing with them in the kitchen and say, what day is today? Do you know what day it is? Or do you know what the month is? We can ask them about the weather. What is the weather like outside?
I know they really love weather.
So if we didn't get to that in circle time, we can always pull that in somewhere else. Or incorporate it in story time. Like maybe we missed something in circle time. Well, then when we read a book, maybe we have a book about that we can bring that back. So again, it's about figuring out what works with your class. Being a floater, that's hard. And maybe it works for another teacher in that classroom, but it's not something you feel comfortable with. So I would say experiment. Like try several different things. Figure out what works for you. Don't try to be her. Don't try to be Miss Leilani. You do you.
Yes, ma'am.
And figure out, okay, well, if I'm not comfortable singing songs, but I'm really good at doing voices when I tell a story. Because that's one thing I'm good at. I love reading. And I like to do different voices and animations. And they like when I read. So that's something I'm more comfortable with than singing. My daughter would be up there singing karaoke, shaking her bottom, and she's fantastic at that. I can't carry a tune if it had a handle.
Me too.
So,
me too. I have no moves at all.
And I can dance. I was a dancer. But do not ask me to vocalize
to sing,
like in any way. I don't know where my daughter got that talent because it was not from mama. But so are there any things that you think that you need from me or that we could offer support-wise for you in that area? It can be supplies, like if you want to try puppets, we can try to come up with that. If you think maybe they're bored with books they have or whatever, we can try. Or it can be like, hey, could you come back one day next month and sit down and model with me? And I will sit down next to you and watch what you're doing and then offer suggestions.
Well, I mean, I know each classroom they have like, you know, their puppets and all that, but I don't know.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, if you think of anything, or if you feel later like you're sitting down and you're like, okay, I'm trying all these things she was talking about and they're just, I don't get it, like I don't understand what she was saying to do, you can reach out to me at any time. Miss Sandy has my info. Most of the teachers do in the classrooms. They have my cell phone number and things. And I can write it down for you if you want. You can text my work phone, email me, whatever, and say, hey, would you come show me this? Like, can you come just demonstrate a circle time? And I will come out and I'll just sit at circle time with you and we'll work on it. So, because that's what I'm here for.
Thank you so
There
much.
are also some really good resources if you ever want to look. You're scrolling through your phone at nap time or whatever. Even though you're not supposed to be. Like, your nap time, not kiddo's nap time. We'll say at home at nap time. You're scrolling through your phone. If you go to Texas Rising Star, which is us, TRS, texasrisingstar.org, they have what is called the Digital Resource Collection. So under providers, it's down at the bottom under my phone where you can't see, but it says Digital Resources. And there are a ton of suggestions and videos. There's activities, there's videos, there's webinars and trainings that you can do on just about anything you can think of. So, like, I know one of them is child engagement. Let me scroll down here. So, indoor learning environment, like if it's setting up your classroom, what should my classroom look like? What do I need in it? It's their instructional formats and approaches to learning. That's what I was trying to, I think that's the one. It gives you some questions. It tells you what TRS specifically is looking for. And because your center works with CCS children, you're required to be Texas Rising Star. And all that means is that we have certain standards we want you to meet. You guys already do. You have a fantastic facility, but we're also here to support you in meeting those. So that's where I come in. So it tells you kind of what those are, but it has things about how to balance your schedule, how to include learning throughout the day. So if they learn a concept at circle time, how are you teaching that other places, like outside or when they line up? And it will also have some things about learning guidelines on how to engage kiddos. So it may have some really good suggestions on circle time specifically. And I know there are some videos in the resource collection that are specifically about like different times of kids' days, and circle time is one of them. I'm just trying to see if this was the one. Yeah, so it has like some activities that you can do with infants and toddlers and with pre-K kiddos to help learn those things. But it just has a lot of info that is there to support you. So I want you to know that that's a thing. We're not going to force it, like shove it down your throat. You absolutely have to watch this video and do this. But if you ever feel like there's an area that you are struggling in, and you don't, and you're like, I don't really want, like, I don't feel confident in reaching out to her and her coming and watching me, and like, you know, that's embarrassing. You can find them on our website and just kind of scroll through those digital resources and see what they have, because they have videos of actual classrooms in action that you can watch with kiddos, with teachers modeling those things. So it may be something that you can learn or find a style that one of them has in those videos that you're like, oh hey, that may work for me. So all right,
thank you.